Hello and welcome to another episode of The Arena, a show about finance, real estate, drones, photography, and the boots on the ground making it happen every day. The reason I say that is today on the show we have the one and only Billy Kyle. Welcome, Billy. I've drug him from behind the camera and I put you right there.
Well, I'm a little bit worried. Hopefully when we're all done this, everything is still recording. Ed, we'll be good to go.
I know. Nobody's here to check on anything. So we're just gonna make it happen.
It's on autopilot.
We're doing it live. Yeah. So listen, man, let's get into it. We've been working together for a little while now.
Yeah.
And years, yeah, right?
Yeah. You've had a couple viral hits, luckily.
Yeah. Well, all thanks to you, buddy.
Yeah.
And you've had a couple viral hits.
Sure. Yeah.
And not to mention, I think you're the official drone pilot of Pennsylvania.
Well, there's some other really great guys out there that I work with. So there's a lot of other great drone photographers.
We don't like them. We don't like you. It's all Billy. No, I'm just kidding. Of course.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, it was a niche that I kind of worked my way into 7 or 8 years ago. And the reason that I'm here now is because at first I was like, I want to offer just drone services, like just do aerial photography and videography. But I realized not many people just need that. They need so much more. They need what we're doing right now, video production.
Well, look, in real estate in general, and obviously I'm in a offshoot of that in mortgage, but look, we're looking not only to promote the properties and business, but ourselves.
Yep.
And I mean, right now, just marketing is everything. Brand is everything. And if you don't have a personal brand, what do you really have?
It's true.
So I just wanted to dive in because, dude, you have so many agents you met with, so many people in general. You've been all over the country now. You kind of have the pulse on what's happening here, whether it's social, again, branding yourself and just content in general. Mm-hmm. So like, why don't you just break down content for layman's terms? Like people are watching this like, oh my God, I have a business. I'm in real estate. I'm in more like whatever it is. And they want this brand, but they don't even know where to start.
Yeah, I think that like you just have to start. Like it doesn't matter, right? So I actually recently saw something on X where someone posted Post Malone's first music video where he's like dancing around doing something goofy. The song is horrible, but he is a multi-million-dollar selling artist now, right? He's at the top of his game for country and for, pop music. And he just started, like he just got in there and tried something. And I look at a lot of these other content creators that maybe aren't doing the same thing as I am, but they're doing other things. And it's like, wow, why didn't I think of that? But it's just because they were themselves and they just went out and did their thing. So I think that just starting, literally no matter what, is probably the biggest hurdle. Now I've been doing content for 7 or 8 years for other people, right? Like creating content for them, but also for myself, for YouTube and Instagram. And it's just become so natural now that it's like, oh yeah, got to make a video. It's just worked into my schedule to where it doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like a job. It's just something that's baked into my everyday life. So what I now say is everybody needs to be a content creator. It doesn't matter if you're a photographer that can do stuff super easy and you have all the skills and the equipment to do, professional stuff for yourself, or if you're somebody like yourself that's doing mortgages that has a great content room like this, or if you're somebody that is window washing and wants to create content for your business. Everybody needs to be creating content and have a digital footprint in some way. And I think that that's how you can kind of find who's successful and who's not successful. I have a really great example of this. A recent content creator I found that just goes by Ryan, just his name Ryan. And I don't know much of a backstory on him, but I know that he's selling this candy called Joyride. And he's in Target and he makes this content about Joyride to where he's like, we're opening up at a new Target. I'm going to fly there and give the first person that buys Joyride at that Target an iPad. And this video has over 1 million likes, tens of millions of views. Sure, you had to spend some time and money getting out there, but do you know what that type of exposure does to a product like his, right?
And more importantly, there's no marketing firm that could recreate that.
Absolutely not. It's so genuine. And I think that the genuine feel behind content is really what makes you want to watch. And then in his case, actually buy his product. Like, right. I want to go to Target and go try this candy now.
Sure. And that's what makes it go viral.
Exactly. Yes.
Just kind of being yourself.
Yep. Let's translate this to realtors, because I know that there's a lot of people follow you within the real estate world. And this is kind of the bread and butter for me, the people that I work with a lot. When I tell them about creating content, you've just got to establish some sort of ethos and some sort of brand and some sort of message on your social media that makes people feel comfortable to work with you, right? Like, you might be on Instagram making videos about your daily life, and if somebody calls you up to sell their house, they feel like they've already met you. They're so comfortable as soon as you walk in the door because they've seen so much from you.
Well, and we always talk about this. I think a lot of people focus too much on the likes,
Yes.
too much on the engagement there, which engagement is important, and of course, and you'll get more and more the more you do it. But everyone's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone sees what you're doing. That's why I'm like, don't post. I mean, listen, you want to in private, you want to say some questionable things, and you have some beliefs. I don't care, political, religious, whatever. That's fine. But if you're going to put that out there, even though people aren't going to comment or like or engage, they're still seeing it.
It's true.
And so if you go one way or the other, that's great. But you just kind of bastardize half of your audience, or you just got rid of them. But I think that when you're doing content, I think the biggest thing is people are just worried about looking weird, awkward, turning people off. They're insecure about it. And I was too. When I first started, I got up there and I'm what?
No.
Well, and listen, I had a little easier because I was a DJ when I was in high school. Never forget, we had, I was in student council. And I was in charge of putting the school dances together. And I hired this one guy, and one of my favorite songs at the time was Rapper's Delight. I know the whole song. Probably still. Maybe we'll have to test that in one of it. But I got up and I got, he just was like, here's the mic. And I got up there and I got everyone, hey, everyone put your hands up. And I was rapping Rapper's Delight for a few minutes and everyone loved it. I was like, all right, I like this attention. I can do this. I like being in front of people. So content, when I eventually got into mortgages and real estate, it was an easier transition. But it doesn't mean I didn't still look like an a-hole.
Yeah. Well, so for me, like when I look at your content, I think that you're a gold standard in terms of people making content because you're frequent with it. You're constant with your posting. You're interacting with other people. You have people on your show. You're making connections. So whenever I talk with somebody, I'm like, go and look at Matt Boyce's page. Do you know Matt Boyce? Like I bring you up and I'll be like, go look at his page because that's the gold standard because you're not afraid to sit down and just make content on your own. You'll sit at your desk with the green screen and just do an update on mortgage. And that's so important. And people don't do that. People just go and hire me and I'm the only one shooting video for their Instagram. And then they don't have that personal touch.
Well, and look, it could be a mix. And that's how I think of content. I look at it as if, for example, last week we had a big jobs numbers come out and it impacted mortgage rates. Well, people needed to know right then and there. So go and learn the tools of some of these platforms. You can go on Instagram and do a green screen. You could just screenshot. The technology now is so incredible.
Seriously.
Where it used to be you needed a videographer and an editor and like it took a week to get that video back, if not longer. And now you can literally be like, article on CNBC, I screenshot that. I go onto the green screen app on TikTok or Instagram, put it behind me and talk about it. I mean, some of the best influencers in real estate right now literally just do that.
Exactly.
They just put the article and they talk about it and people want to hear what they have to say. The other thing I want to say, and let's go back to the DJ days, okay? So I used to DJ weddings all the time. And this is how I always looked at it. And people come to us and are like, I don't want to put this video is stupid. I don't like the way I look or whatever it is. I'm going to turn people off. I go, okay. At a wedding, I used to get up there and let's say there's 100 people at this wedding. I would always have 5 or 10 people out of that wedding that would come up and request the most ridiculous music. I'd have people out there singing, the YMCA and Brick House, and they're asking me to play Metallica. Okay. And on the other hand, I had people coming up to me loving everything I'm doing. They're like, oh my God, like everything you're playing is 5 to 10 people, like it just, everything I played, they loved. So 5 to 10% of people hated everything I played and wanted me to play something completely different. 5 to 10% loved it. And then in the middle, you're going to have, everyone in between. And it's the same thing with content. You're going to have the haters out there. No matter what you put out there, they're going to hate it. But guess what? Are they buying a house? Are they buying whatever it is you have? No, they're not your ideal prospect or client. That's not who you're targeting. So I would just say, who cares? You only live once. Life is short. Throw it out there. Be yourself. And guess what? If they don't like you for being yourself, you don't want to work with them either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at these platforms, right, I think that there's a lot of negativity that can come through comments and whatnot. But you kind of have to weed through that. I mean, gosh, I've gotten so many mean comments over the years. The biggest thing's about my eyebrows. People are like, look at this guy with his eyebrows. Like, that's the one physical trait that everybody used to kill me for. Another thing, too, when I first got started, high school, making videos in my mom's bedroom, my bedroom at my mom's house, talking to the camera. face filled with acne, got the pimple comments, right? And it's just like, who cares? All of that stuff is so temporary. Those videos have been forgotten because social media is so quick that you're kind of just on to the next one. So how you look, what you think that people are going to think of you just needs to totally go out the window. And when you are genuinely secure in the content that you create, it'll come off. Like, people will be like, this guy doesn't care, and I love it. So let's talk about platforms real quick.
Yes.
What are your favorite platforms to post on? Because there's a lot of them out there. Like, what have you found? Like, let's say somebody says, like, hey, I want to do content. What are you recommending to them to use?
Yeah, so let's talk about editing and video in general and content in general. In my opinion, I think you should diversify. Now, you brought it up in the beginning. I've had a couple of my videos go viral. Well, the only reason that they went viral is because I diversified what platforms I put them on. And so I think for those that are just on TikTok, just on Instagram, I think right now with TikTok potentially being banned, which I don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll work it out. But let's say it does get banned and you have people that their entire livelihood is on TikTok. They never diversified it. Well, they're kind of screwed.
Yep.
But if they're among all the platforms, they're probably okay. So I would say, one, if you're going to put the time and effort into an idea and especially paying for a videographer or editing or anything. And by the way, agents, if you're looking for editing, I have my own in-house editing at Maximus Mortgage Advisors. No, but I would say take that video that's now nicely edited with captions and whatever, and put it on YouTube, potentially YouTube Shorts. Put it on Meta, which now is going to be not only, I love Meta. It's if you want to choose one platform, it's Meta.
Yep.
Because you could post something simultaneously on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. And Threads is my new favorite.
I've seen you post it on there a good amount.
I love Threads.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah.
So it's the new Twitter, right? The new X. But that's good. But then also don't forget about LinkedIn. Don't forget about Pinterest. Pinterest is a very underrated platform that you can get traction on. And then I would just say, just see how it goes. Mm-hmm. Just be consistent in everything you're posting, and you'll get a feel for maybe what content is better for what platform. But like we talked about before, there's other situations where you have information you want to get people right away and you want to do a green screen or you just want to post something real quick. Meta's probably your best bet to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, agreed. I think like with my workflow, if I make a video, I have this vertical video, drone shots of the city or whatever, right? I have all of the apps in a line on my phone. I go Instagram, post, Threads, post, TikTok, post, LinkedIn, post. Like, it's literally just systematic. Copy and paste the caption. What does it take? 5 minutes to get it across all the different platforms? There will be some people out there that want to use Buffer or Hootsuite to go and, upload it once and it gets posted to all of them. I don't think the platform's like that.
They definitely don't like that.
They prefer you to post it right within.
And are you that busy?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
You can't just go in there
5 minutes.
You're literally copy the script. And by the way, let's make it even easier. Go on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And go, hey, I want to write me a script. So now we're getting into the details. But if you have no idea where to start, go on ChatGPT. Write in what's your idea. Say, I want to do a social media post. I want to do a video. I need help. I need a basic script for it. Can you write the script? Oh, and by the way, write me a hook and write me what to actually post under the caption.
Yep.
And it'll do everything with emojis.
Really?
So, yeah, with the emojis and hashtags.
Damn.
So nowadays you have no excuse. It's just do. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn by doing. And by doing, you're going to create a habit. You're going to create that consistency. Sure. And then eventually you're going to get traction. Yeah. And by the way, a big moment I'll never forget was when I first started posting on Facebook. This is back in the day, right? Before everything. I mean, MySpace, we could argue I was posting on MySpace, but that didn't do anything. Maybe when I was single Matt, it got me a few dates, but that was about it. When I first started on Facebook and posting, and people made fun of me so much, like, for example, the thing everyone loved to bust my balls about was posting food pictures. Right? I'd be out at a restaurant, I'd be cooking, whatever it is, I like to cook, right? So I'm posting what I'm eating and my friends are like, do I really need to see what you're eating today, Matt? I mean, is that really on my agenda? I don't want that on my feed. And then all of a sudden, and then I started posting at settlements, or I started posting, just the day in the life of me. Like, I didn't really care. I just wanted to post. And all of a sudden, guess what? Started gaining followers. Agents would reach out to me. I started, and it wasn't just because they wanted to know about mortgage rates. They just liked who I was and thought we would be a good partner. That's all. That's all it was. So I'll never forget one year, I actually went back and I tried to monetize how much business did I do because of social media, because of Facebook at the time, without ads or anything like that. And it was over $100,000. And it probably more. I mean, it was tough to quantify at a certain level. And I remember one of my buddies who loved to really dig into me. And I think it was at one of those moments where he's like, you are so stupid, and he's a buddy. We're just all having fun there. And I said, well, I just kind of added up things. And it looks like I'm over $100,000 in business because of it. So do you think I should keep doing it or should I stop? And let's just say he hasn't brought it up since.
Yeah. I think that everybody has to have a digital portfolio online, a digital presence in some way, because it's just going in that direction to where people are spending more and more time on their phones, and it's the easiest way to reach people without having to spend money.
Right.
So if I had to choose platforms, I mean, I think that Instagram, TikTok are probably the two to really hammer the most. That's what I tell people to really go after the most. Personally, that's where I've seen a lot of success, so I think I might be a little bit biased in that way. But what's cool about Instagram is you can just say share reel on Facebook as well, and it goes there also. But now talking about these platforms, how would you quantify success on a post, right? So everybody has like this level of success. Like when they post it, they're like, man, I hope I get this many likes. I hope I get this many views. I hope that, I'm able to get this many comments. I hope this many people message me, right? So what would you determine as success? And if you need a second to think, I can go. Okay, go.
I think you're hitting the head on the vein right now, what everyone's talking about or they should be talking about when it comes to any social media, any marketing, which is what really matters. And I think it used to be followers.
Yep.
And it used to be views. And now it's got to be engagement.
Correct.
It's all engagement. And then once you go around and you think about what would people want to share? What would people want to comment on? What controversial stuff can I say? Not too controversial, but something out there that's going to spark a discussion. That's where I feel that's the gold. Threads, for example, I put up there something and I got, thousands, like 14,000 views on it because I just put it I just said, what stopped you more or less. And funny enough, this is what my video went viral with you on TikTok. But I said, do you regret, homeowners, do you regret not buying a multifamily and buying a single family? More or less, that's what it was. And everyone was like, yeah. And it would spark the conversation. Speaking of platforms, we did a video on that. I said, if I could do all over again, I would have bought a multifamily instead of a single family because I bought it young. And when the economy turned, it was an albatross around my neck. Well, I posted it on Facebook and Instagram and I got a few thousand views and I was really happy. And then I posted it on TikTok as like a afterthought. I didn't even care. And I remember I turned on TikTok the next day and I thought it was broken. I was like, what happened? It's glitching out, because it said I had like hundreds of thousands of notifications basically. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I went there and I was over 1 million views and I was over 100,000 likes and I was over, I don't know how many comments, and ultimately ended up almost 2 million views. Crazy amount of likes, crazy. And I ended up getting, thank God I put a call to action in there, which we could talk about.
Huge.
And I ended up getting hundreds of leads.
Yes. So I was going to say, right, like up until that point, you probably couldn't quantify how much business you had gotten from social media. And then once one video hits, you start to be like, wow, just from this one video, I got X amount of business. But I think that you can't even just look at one specific instance. It's got to be the whole thing. It's just got to be, hey, my social media and how I'm keeping up with it has brought in this many leads, right? Because at that point, you can kind of look at your entire portfolio, everything you've done, and then you can better understand, like, yeah, this is worth it.
Yeah.
You, of course, have the one that really jumps up, but then from there, you get kind of like, I don't want to say like, you get a taste for it, right? You get a taste for the amount of business that can come in from social media. You kind of hit the ground running, keep going, and now it's just, to you, like it is to me, just natural to just get content out there.
Well, it just motivates you more.
Yes.
And
motivation's huge.
Out of that, you get you get more followers, you get more engagement, and then little by little, every month, it really is just a get rich slow scheme. Every month, you have more and more people that reach out, or they just know of you. And you go, oh yeah, I've seen your stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never commented or liked it, but I've seen your stuff. Okay. You know what you're doing.
Yes.
That
It really does kind of help establish, I say ethos, right? It helps establish
credibility.
Credibility, exactly. It helps people understand that you know what you're doing, because if you have the balls to talk about it online, you probably have a good understanding. And if we scroll and if I see that you've posted about it 1,000 times, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
So an agent coming to you and saying maybe they're newer or they're just trying to expand their brand, and they go to you and go, hey, what do I do between my listings, between myself? What's a nice basic game plan that I can implement?
Yeah, so I would say the game plan is to start on Instagram and post outward from there. So get on Instagram and make content for it. And then if it's applicable to other platforms, just continue to migrate to there. So as I mentioned, go down the line and post, right? So basically you think of Instagram as 3 different tiers. You have your story, you have your posts, and you have your reels. What I'd recommend doing to start is a story every day, no matter what. There needs to be a maroon ring around your profile picture so people can see what you're up to in the moment. So whether it's 1, whether it's 10, you've got to have something at all times there. Number 2, for your posts, these are like your photos and stuff like that. And really, I can clump this in with reels because they're kind of very similar. You've got to have at least 2 every week, right? You've got to be posting to your feed so that it stays concurrent and so that it stays updated. If somebody comes to me and I'm a photographer and I haven't posted now since 2024, which makes it seem even worse because now it's 2025, people be like, is this guy still in the business? Like, is he still doing photography? Like, I actually have a business page for my company that I don't post to because everybody just knows me by my name now. And I haven't posted on it since maybe 2021. And I get people messaging me like, hey, are you still active? Whatever. I'm like, I don't use that profile. But people that want to work with me come to my profile and see that I've posted 10 times in the past month. And they're like, okay, yeah, he's still here. He's still around. He's still in the area. He's still working. So I think that being active is huge, and Instagram will reward you for that activity.
And also, but you hit on the head too. Don't separate your life, business and personal.
No, don't.
It all has to be one.
Yeah, your story is for personal stuff.
Right.
Instagram has specifically said that your story is going to be pushed more to your followers, and your reels and posts will be shared to people that don't follow you.
Yeah, like a day in the life, behind the scenes.
Yep.
That's all part of your stories.
You're making fun of guys in the office. That goes on your story.
Making fun of the guy. I've never done that. No.
Make them dress up in Goldilocks outfits.
But
that goes on the
feed. Oh, geez. Again, it's Matt Boyce. Feel free to go take a look. But no, we ended up really diving in, you and I, over a million different videos and all sorts of great topics. I think just diversifying and having a little fun with it. Mm-hmm. This arena, I have this platform, and then I'll just sit here and I'll come up with ideas. And I just want to try a bunch of things out. It's a free market. People are either going to watch it or they're not.
Yeah.
And then what are your thoughts on reposting video?
Yeah. So in terms of like on Instagram?
I'm saying let's say a year ago.
Oh, sure.
Recycling videos.
Yes, definitely no hate in that. So I went, probably my biggest thing that's gone viral is the 95 thing where the bridge collapsed, right? I went there, I did a bunch of videos, and then once it was all done, I did like a recap where I took all the videos I made and put it into one. Well, don't you know that recap video did 24 million views? The one single one. So I recycled everything. I'd already done all the work, right? And I was like, let me just put everything in one place for everybody to watch. 24 million views.
Wow.
I use the same songs that I used last year. I will sometimes use a cover image from last year for a reel that I made this year. Do you know what I mean? People will forget so quickly. And if somebody remembers, then they're a big fan of yours. So you can think of it that way.
Well, and let's talk about, I love the phrase, you're only one post away from changing your life.
It is true, yeah.
And not that your life has changed dramatically, but it has changed. Mm-hmm. The more content that's gone viral. So talk about it. I mean, you were on the news. Let's talk about the drones flying over New Jersey.
Sure.
So
let me get my tinfoil hat.
which crazy enough, now nobody's talking about. But drones were flying all over the place. Of course, who are they going to talk to? The guy that knows all about drones. Mm-hmm. So talk to me about how you handled that and what doors did that open?
Yeah, so unfortunately that didn't open any doors, at least that I know of, right? But who knows? Maybe.
Well, no, meaning you were on the news.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, I just made a video about it, right? Like, this is a hot topic. I live near Jersey. I mean, why not make a video, right? That video actually, I got a lot of hate on that video. I mean, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a government plant, right? I mean, everybody, right? It's like, it's insane the type of stuff that people are commenting. But something like that, it's like just jumping on it and making a video and not caring that I'm gonna get, people in the comments talking like that led to me being on News Nation, which was cool. Now, look, that didn't directly lead into my phone ringing for new business. The video that did 24 million views, I can't quantify any leads that have come from that at all. Nobody's like, I saw this video, I want to hire you because of it. But again, it's just
credibility.
It's adding to that credibility. It's adding to that portfolio. People might scroll back and see that video after seeing one of my recent videos, and it's just adding to the whole portfolio that I'm trying to put together.
Yeah, because right now, how many followers do you have on YouTube?
YouTube is 146,000. Instagram is 47,000. And each of them go up like, a couple thousand a month or something like that. And it's just, for me, it's more so about becoming an authority in the space so that, there's a lot of other drone pilots in the area that follow me, but I might not follow them, right? So if somebody's looking to hire somebody, well, they're going to look for the person that is at the top of the game, which hopefully they would come to me. That's kind of my theory.
Well, and you can't say that no doors have been open for the 95 incident. You got to meet the governor.
Yeah, it's true.
And an unofficial drone pilot of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I went up and I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm the guy flying the drone around, 95. I was like, those videos are awesome. Of course, he's probably just blowing smoke. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
Still, like it's cool to have that recognition, and it's cool to be involved in the community. So
well, and let's go back to and kind of put a nice bow on this conversation, which is right now marketing. If you're in business on any level, and I would even argue, and I've listened to a lot of great podcasts lately on even if like your kid is in high school, and it's such a hot topic. We don't want them to be ultra involved with social media, but then again, you want them to have some kind of a brand.
it's true.
And if they're going to go to college, what do colleges do now? They're looking you up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can use it for good, is what I'm saying. It's a tool like anything else. And so if you're on there and you're messing around, you're doing dumb stuff, and you're posting weird stuff, that's going to hurt you.
True.
But if you're using it for good and you're making great content, if you're in soccer, for example, and you want to showcase everything you've done with soccer, and maybe you're in some charity work, all the things that we do to get into college, now you can showcase on your social media, and then a college goes to look at it or a recruiter goes to look at it. It just adds to everything that you're about. And especially if you're going to get a job, and whatever that is, even if it's a salaried job, but you have some kind of brand presence, or you're an expert or at whatever it is, it just helps. I mean, I don't think there's a situation where it could hurt.
Yeah. Well, it's weird if you don't have a social media now, right? Like you're looking to hire an agent, let's say, and they don't have an Instagram page. You're like, wait, is this guy real? Right? Does this person actually exist?
You want me to fax you my houses that I wanted to see?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's the world we live in. It's a necessity at this point to have some sort of presence on Instagram, online, and I know that there's a lot of people that are a little bit older and stuck in their ways, but you've got to imagine now the people that are coming up my age that are purchasing homes. I'm 27 years old. I grew up on social media. I'm going to look at somebody's Instagram at first. If I'm going to a restaurant, I'm looking at their Instagram page.
Yes.
I'm not looking at their website. You bring up keeping kids off of social media. One of my first big gifts that I got for Christmas when I was younger in middle school was a laptop. I got a MacBook. My mom surprised me with this MacBook. It was huge. And because of that purchase, being able to create videos with that computer is why I'm here right now doing what I'm doing, being able to work for myself. So the fact that I was allowed on social media in order to do things, and I had my own general idea of, the way that I wanted to steer. I wasn't jumping on there cursing and doing that stuff. So I had my own mentality, is the reason why, led to where I'm at today. So,
well, I would say parenting, maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
Is it
my mom's all
part
right.
of that?
My mom's all right.
So it's basically saying you have the best mom ever.
Yeah,
Best
she's all
parents.
right. Love you, Mom.
Yeah. Love you too, Mom. You have to come on the show next. We'll get all the
That
back.
would be hilarious.
We'll get to dirt.
You have to.
I would do that.
You have to.
Okay. It's in.
You had
all
me on, for God's sake. You have anybody on.
Literally anybody can go on now. It's just, it's wide open. So I want to talk about the last part of this is, again, you're an agent and you're dipping your toe into branding and content. Wouldn't a nice part of that, there's this guy, you might have heard of him. His name's Sam Lepore.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So goofy guy, I don't know. He goes online. Every once in a while I post something. No, of course we're talking about a dear friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
And someone that I know hates with a passion to do video.
He does hate it a lot.
Hates it.
Absolutely.
But he's always on video. He pushes himself. And I think, he found a niche where he's standing in front of a beautiful listing, or he's down the shore, La Porte at the shore, right? He's in Ocean City, and he's talking about, but he's also not just this one particular house. He's talking about information that everybody wants to know about. What's the most expensive house that's sold? And he happens to have a drone pilot
Yeah.
to drone all these houses. But isn't he kind of killing two birds with one stone?
I'll tell you what, his consistency is unlike anything I've seen from any of the agents I work with or any agents outside of anybody I work with. For the past 3 or 4 years, every month we've gotten together to make a video about Morristown. One video, 1 month. And he's directly told me that he's had people come to him and say, I see your videos online. I want you to sell my house. By the way, I'm going to be buying a house. And by the way, my mom needs to sell her house. And so just from like that one meeting and all the videos he's done, he's paid for every time that he's hired me, and maybe even in the future, right? So it's paying dividends for him because of how consistent he is.
Yeah.
He has videos from 3 years ago doing the same exact thing that he's doing now, and he hates video just as much now than he did earlier, just like you mentioned.
Well, listen, there's plenty of agents that might be able to do that without a videographer.
Yes.
And they're comfortable, selfie video, tripod, walking through a house. This is what you get for $500,000 in this town. And there's plenty of agents that I personally know that do a great job and have a great following. He's not one of them. He knows his strengths and weaknesses. He's holding himself accountable, and he's hiring someone like you in order to pretty much make him look good, but execute the idea. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you have someone like Colleen Haddon. Colleen is someone that is just, I don't know what's in her brain, but
Neither do I.
it's obviously very creative and a little scary at times and crazy, but it comes out and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So she has these great ideas, and again is like, I need you to help me execute them.
Yeah.
So it's wherever you are on that spectrum, whether you like really don't want to do this and you want to force yourself, or you're all about it. I would say again, diversify the portfolio here. Don't just do your own stuff. Maybe hire someone like you or you specifically to help them and do the editing, and maybe you use us. You partner if you're an agent and you partner with my company. We help you edit. Be right here behind us. We have a green screen.
Yep.
And little things like that, right?
Well, I'm a horrible salesman because I tell people, just shoot the video yourself, because really that's what comes across as being so genuine. This one guy always pops up on my feed in Philly. He's talking about this new development on Broad Street, about how they're putting up all these condos, and he's sitting there with his phone, and he's like, behind me is this new building that's going up, and he's giving all these facts. He's got a little drone. He puts it up. He gets some shots of the whatever, right? He puts it together. That was great. I mean, look, he could have hired me to go there and film him and then get the drone shots for him, and I would have sent him something. But like the fact that he did it himself, the fact that he used his phone made it seem so much more genuine. If I did it, people might have looked at that and been like, this is an advertisement. This is something that,
It looked too good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I'm not trying to say that like my videos are great, but I'm just saying that it has this look to it where it looks like a professional camera. Oh, this guy works for this company. He's trying to sell a place in here. Instead, it makes him look like just an average guy in Philly. And people are going to want to work with him because he seems just like an average guy in Philly.
So that's the last thing I want to talk about is, again, this is a portfolio. This is diversifying your content. I think there should be some professional stuff.
Absolutely.
But then also there should be, like grassroots, like
run and gun,
normal stuff.
Yep.
Some of the bigger followings, trainers and dietitians and people, they're literally, they just look, it's just their head and they're just talking. Real estate, it's just a background like we talked about. They screenshot an article, and the one guy, Ricky Caruth, I think his name, he starts out, everyone's like, woo, we got a good one here. And he goes into it, but that's his thing, right? He spends zero on editing.
Yep.
Zero on video. Like he just talks, and he has millions of people that I know follow him. So I just think, to your point, just do it. Just get out there. Take action, imperfect action.
Have to.
There's a great book, and I'm pretty sure it's Imperfect Action. Something along those lines.
Was AJ Brown reading that on the
Yeah,
sideline?
I think that's exactly what. Go Birds! I think that just getting out there and doing it is scary. I know that you might think you're going to look like an idiot. Trust me, nobody cares, because once they look at it, even at the dumbest stuff in the world that people literally are looking like idiots, like, crazy stuff. People watch it, they might comment, and then they move on with their lives. Trust me, everybody cares about one thing, and that's themselves.
There's a dude in New York City that's gone viral. He rides a bike and wears a microwave on his head. And he rides up to the camera and opens the microwave and says something, closes the microwave on his face, and drives away. And people love him. So people are going to love you no matter what you do if you're interesting and have something good to say.
Yes. And by the way, it's the information. The guy in Philadelphia that's shooting the new construction that has the data, the stats, what people actually want to know about. He's just not giving his opinion like, this thing's going to be a piece of crap.
Yep.
Or you got to buy this. It's going to look beautiful. Okay, well, how's that helping me?
It's true.
And so in the end, any marketing or branding book tells you who's the hero of the story. It's not you. It's your client. It's your customer. So as long as you keep that in mind with all of the branding and all the content you're doing, I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah, agreed. And to everybody out there, just start. Right after this, go make a piece of content. It's super easy.
That's it. I love that. And then tag us.
That's your homework.
Well, thanks a lot for coming on today, man.
Of course.
We'll have to do this again.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
This is what everybody wants to talk about, but like nobody knows where to start.
It's true.
And it's such a big topic right now. Why? Because the market's slow.
Yep.
And I would even say if you're in an industry where the market's not slow, this will insulate you.
It's very true. Yeah, it helps you establish yourself.
Car salesman.
Wait, dude. Some of these car salesmen that I see on TikTok are doing hilarious videos, which you know is leading to people calling them saying, "Yo, I need a Mustang."
What about the guys like, "Come holla"? He posts like some picture of usually a woman, that isn't wearing a lot of clothes, doing something weird, and then he has and it leads right into him, and it's hysterical.
Yeah.
So everyone has a niche. So I would say find your niche by doing.
Yep.
Do right now.
See ya. Bye. Go do it now.
That's right. All right. I'll see you. Until next time. Thanks so much for watching or listening. And until next time, we'll have our next guest, which I'm sure you'll be here filming.
Yeah, I'll be behind the camera. So.
Oh, real quick. How do we get in touch with you, Bill?
My Instagram, Billy Kyle.
@Billy Kyle.
Yeah.
You got
Perfect.
it. See you later.